Once again, thank you for your support. Okay, really do appreciate it. Massive support that we've got across the board here for CoinsKid on all social platforms, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon, obviously, Telegram. The whole place is blowing up, and all the links are on CoinsKid.com. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for the really nice warm comments and feedback that we get. So right now you can see Cardano has broken out its level of resistance, which is good. It's broken out. Look at this. It's broken out and backtested and held as support. You see this trend line just there? This is really, really good, because like I said to you, you've been under resistance of this trend line since June the 3rd, basically. Sorry, since you peaked at May. You've rolled over and you've ran into this level of resistance multiple times in this sort of downwards broadening channel that you've got on the go for Cardano. Now right here where you form the channel just here is a potential target for Cardano. If it can continue right now and break all these levels of resistance above and start to paint beautiful reversal signatures and get back above the daily EMAs as well, you're looking golden from continuation. Okay, and they're the primary things that we need to see broken, is the daily EMAs. Okay, the 20 and the 55, get back above, back test the support, you're looking golden. You've broken out this is really key, but you've got another key level of resistance above you, which is $1.39. okay, now that is the resistance of this ascending triangle and potentially W double bottom that we can see. If we look on the 4 hourly, it might look a bit better, because on the hour it's a bit clustered, isn't it? So on the 4 hourly time frame you can see what a candle that is. Okay, beautiful candle. You're above the EMAs, you start to drag the yellow line, which is a 20 EMA, over your shoulder, and you can see that potentially you're going to form a bullish cross just there. If you can hold that back test of support, this is really, really good that you're doing it in such a fashion just there, because the last time you formed a WW bottom was basically just here. Okay, and you can see that you still ran into resistance and you've rolled over, continue. This is good for Cardano at the moment, but you have got a key level of resistance which you do need to see broken. Okay, and it's a resistance of a WW bottom and obviously the ascending triangle that you find yourselves in, because that's what WW bottoms are. They're ascending triangles as well. Okay, you've broken this resistance here, you're looking to come up to test this level here, and I did say to you, come to your charts and draw this trend line, because if you see that you break it, you're potentially looking at a retest of this resistance of a WW bottom. Okay, in the ascending triangle, do you see that? This blue line, this resistance right now for Cardano. So it's looking good, and from that moment, that break there, you're looking at a further upside of around about 4% for Cardano. Now if it does break this particular level, this 139, you've got a lovely reversal just here for W bottom, and it looks like this. Okay, so this is a potential upside break of 139. So if you do see Cardano coming up today, because it is going to come quite soon, because you can see you're coming into the apex of the ascending triangle. Do you see this? Because it's WW bottom, okay, depleting selling pressure, you've got a low, then come up and make a lower low, and it's effectively an ascending triangle as well, and you're coming up, and it's the most beautiful reversal pattern you can see in a chart, basically. If you come up and you break this level right now, you are looking at upside, and this is your target for Cardano. So with Cardano then, sorry, a helicopter flew over the house there, it was really loud. So basically with Cardano, if we break 139, you are looking at a beautiful upside here of $1.73, and obviously the continuation up to $1.88, which is where you form the broadening descending channel. Do you see this? Boom, 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 boom. So it's looking relatively good, but we do need to see this level of resistance broken here. This is a key level of resistance, okay, for the continuation of this trend, because like I said to you, you can break this all you want, but if you start to come back and hit a key level of resistance, you come back into the pattern, you're creating a throwback. Okay, it's basically a fake out, so to speak. There is something I'm going to show you and bring to your attention. I don't know how it looks on the 4 hour, okay, but we've got the 4 hours not looking too bad, but on the hourly time frame we do have a little bit of a bearish divergence here on the hourly time frame. Okay, for Cardano, I will show you this. So basically in the RSI just here, you're making these sort of lower highs. Do you see this for Cardano? But in the price action you are making higher highs. Oh, that's the wrong one. But in the price action you are making higher highs, and that is basically a bit of a bearish divergence. And some would say, that this potentially, if it continues to do something like that, it's a bit of a rising wedge. Okay, it's not the best rising wedge in the world, but from this point here, you sort of coming up, you're in resistance, you're in support. Potentially, this is where you come up to this particular target and roll over and come back into this pattern and roll more. So do anticipate that. Keep an eye on that. Like I say, it's crunch time. It's being forced into a position because you're coming closer and closer to this apex. Now if you do continue to adhere to support just here, okay, of this upper EMA like that, you're in an uptrend, and you do adhere to support of this trend line, of the support line of the ascending triangle, do you see this for Cardano, then it is going to force you into some kind of break here, and potentially, you know, if you do start to break this level of resistance at 139, this is where you're looking further upside. Bring that down a little bit, just like that. Further upside up to $1.72, and from here, if you do get the break, you know, you're looking at a whopping 22% upside for Cardano, and that would look absolutely amazing. But the main thing we want to see is the daily, okay? The daily EMAs need to start and get broken. So basically, what I'm trying to say, you're coming up to a key level of resistance, break it, go long, lose this level of support, this trend line, go short, and you've got a breakdown target equally is the same length. So just copy this. So from there to there, you could see a further breakdown of Cardano along this trend line if it was to lose it, potentially coming back down to retest this low once more of around about $1.05 just there. Do you see that? And it is wherever you break out. Say you rolled over here and you lost the support of this upper trend line. Do you see that? That's where you can see the roll over, the reversal, lose the EMAs, and that's confidence of the fact that you're going to start to come down and create another low down here and potentially roll again. Deeper for Cardano, potentially coming down to that weekly 55 EMA, which you've not back tested. I'm going to be honest with you, you've not back tested the weekly EMA since let's have a look at this on the weekly. On the weekly EMA, I mean, you've got a bullish week basically. You got the bullish hammer just there on the weekly. What I'm going to do is get rid of the so for Cardano, you've got a bullish hammer, which we've spoken about, haven't we? That, you know, this is a reversal indicator. It's really good at the moment. It looks good, but you've not back tested the 55 since September last year. Okay, so do keep that in mind. If there is another rollover and potentially, you know, you do come lower and you fall out of that particular pattern now, and you break, you lose support, this is where potentially you could see one more rollover in the market and come down to the 55 EMA, which currently stands at roughly 81 cents. But it's not a certainty, but you can see you've not backtested it in this sort of rollover and consolidation range at the moment. So do anticipate that that is a potential play for Cardano moving forward. So yeah, that's basically Cardano. What I wanted to do is look at it on the daily and see how we are on the EMAs on the daily. So yeah, we're on the bearish cross on the daily. You're under resistance. You're in a downtrend on the daily until you break above. You know, the trend is your friend until the end. Break the trend and create a new friend. And at the moment, downtrend for Cardano on the daily time frame, which is where you could see if you do run into resistance of a daily 20 EMA especially and get rejected, where you could see the continuation and the rollover and potentially coming down to the 55 EMA. So if you do see that, put some bids in on the 55 EMA, because I would imagine that's where you're going to get that massive level of support on the weekly time frame down here. Okay, if there is a rollover, and you can see potentially looking at that structure I've just shown you why there could potentially be a bit of a rollover for Cardano as well. So yeah, I'm not saying it is going to happen, you know, I've not got a crystal ball, but as a technical analysis, I'm showing you key levels of support and key levels of resistance moving forward. And yeah, with that information, do what you want. So take care everyone. I'll be back tomorrow for another update on Cardano. Break that resistance, you're looking at more upside. Lose support, go short, you're looking at another rollover in the market. It's so decisive at the moment. You know, we're coming to a really crunch time, not just for Cardano and alts, but for Bitcoin as well. One thing that is good for Cardano, you've broken that downwards resistance line that you've been under for so long, since May, since you hit peaks and you've been hitting resistance, you've actually broken out of it. If we can stay above that, back to support, that in itself is good for continuation for Cardano. Take care everyone, bye bye.